It's me is one of the most well-known phrases in all of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's been around since the very first game, showing up all the way through the most recent releases. Most people understand it as a sort of tagline for Golden Freddy. I mean, we see it all the time when Golden Freddy appears. It's me is shown in most of the Golden Freddy merchandise, and even the Golden Freddy loading screen for FNAF World says, "It's me." But I think this understanding of "it's me" has been fundamentally wrong from the entire fanbase, myself included. As recently as a month ago, I made a full theory on my thoughts on Golden Freddy, and I still believe this theory, but in it my thoughts on "it's me" were incorrect. At least they've drastically changed thanks to the newest FNAF book the week before. So slices, put on your aprons and let's bake ourselves a theory. So what is The Week Before? It's the first full volume of a new series of interactive novels, or FNAF's take on choose your own adventure style books. It came out ironically the week before on September 3rd, and it is one of the most impactful pieces of media to ever come out in this franchise. I'm not kidding, it presents itself as fully canon to the games and a prequel to FNAF 1, where we play as Phone Guy, or Ralph. Yes, I'm not kidding, the first page and the summary of this book confirm the name of Phone Guy from FNAF 1, which is crazy. We play his last week of working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, one where he's been shifted to take over the duties of the night shift security guard, essentially the week before FNAF 1. So spoilers ahead because we will be digging through this book today. But luckily, even if you watch and you haven't read it yet, it won't fully spoil the book because there are multiple endings and multiple different playthroughs you can take. But I'm not kidding, not only is this book really well written and one of the most enjoyable FNAF books to read in my opinion, it is absolutely packed to the brim with lore and confirmations. I mean, here's a teaser for what I'm talking about. At some point in the novel, somebody leaves a voicemail for you on the phone in the security office, but you need a code to access the voicemails. Your options are to punch in random numbers, try 1983, try 1987, or use an item with a code on it. If you try 1983, you get this page. 4 digits. Could be a year, you think. You can't remember what year the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opened, or its predecessor, Fredbear's Family Diner, but one year does stick out. It was known as the Big Bite until it happened again 4 years later. Kind of like how World War I was just the Great War until another one came along. Speaking of tragedies that could have been avoided. You punch in the numbers 1983. And the phone line crackles. Then you hear a sobbing child. There's definitely a little boy crying on the other end of the line. He's shouting, "No, let me go." You lean forward. "Hello? Hello, are you there? Talk to me, kid." "No, please, I don't want to." Your skin prickles. You realize you're listening to a recording. You can't help anyone. "Give you a closer look," another boy says, his voice mean and hard. You hear children's laughter and bubbly pop music. One of Fredbear's original hits, the secret ingredient is you, which you haven't heard in years. "Hey, stop that. Put him down," a man shouts. "Get back from the stage. Do not touch the bear." People start shouting and screaming. The music plays on. The boy cries on until crunch. So like on one random game over screen, you die later on that page, we basically get a confirmation that the crying child, or Dave if recent theories are true, which I believe, was bitten by Fredbear in Fredbear's Family Diner on the year 1983. No, this year was not just the year that the TV show started, this is the seemingly confirmed year of the bite of the crying child. This book is no joke. We are going to be making multiple videos about the cavalcade of lore inside of this novel, just about what it's telling us and the theories that it proves and breaks. But after reading this book, one thing came to mind more than anything else, and we just had to talk about it. That being the usage of the phrase, "It's me." On a first playthrough, "It's me" doesn't seem too out of place. It mostly appears when you would expect it to. It appears slightly randomly through the pizzeria, like on page 31, when Ralph hears whispers of some kind of children's rhyme from one of the bathroom stalls, and in going to investigate, he finds a ballpoint pen and "It's me" angrily scribbled on the stall wall. Or on page 49, when he calls the backstage to try to distract some of the animatronics, and somebody actually picks up the backstage phone, to which he hears a child crying and eventually a garbled voice say, "It's me." We also, like the games and what we would expect, get more prominent "it's me's" when encountering Golden Freddy. Near one of the endings of your first playthrough of the book, Ralph is in a stare down with Golden Freddy while waiting for other animatronics to settle, and he knows if he looks away, he'll die. While staring at Golden Freddy, "It's me" begins pervading in his mind, even in his vision. Sound familiar? But he looks away for a second to make sure the other animatronics have settled, and they have. That second was all Golden Freddy needed though, as when he looks back, Golden Freddy is right in front of his face, grabbing the sides of Ralph's head. We then get this page. Is this Ralph's thoughts? Is this all he hears? It's unclear. But this "It's Me" onslaught is broken up. About halfway through, we get, just under the angry onslaught of noise, you hear a soft voice, a warm and gentle one, a woman saying, "It's me. Thank you. You did it. She'll be all right now. She's safe. She's safe." Then the "It's Me's" continue until eventually they're replaced with "She's safes." Ralph then smiles and goes to sleep, presumably dying in peace. Out of context, this scene makes absolutely no sense. But in context, while the scene makes a lot more sense, it still muddies the usage of "It's me." But before we get there, let's settle what the context of this moment is. And to do so, we need to introduce the newest character of FNAF 1, Bronwen Light. Right away, Bronwen Light is an interesting name, so we should discuss the meaning of it. Okay, Bronwen directly translates to blessed breast in Old English, and at this point, breast was defined as hill. So her name literally translates to a blessed hill of light, which to me sounds a lot like this, but we don't have time to get into that right now. Anyway, she's a reporter looking into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza after she applied and didn't get the job, while still obsessed with what she heard about the restaurant. In her research, she found reason to believe that the animatronics were planning something. Yeah, this book gives us a lot more insight into the animatronics themselves and gives them more intelligence than we thought possible. They're not just rabid animals at the behest of the spirits inside them. They work together, they open doors for each other. There's even a moment where Ralph is hiding in the security office and they enter looking for him, but when they don't see him, they begin to use and check the cameras to look for Ralph, which is crazy. But not only are they that intelligent, they're capable of making context plans. The plan they've created involves their charging pads. Another neat point we get about the animatronics is the way they charge. They've got pads on the bottom of their feet, and where they stand on stage is metal plates. Those metal plates charge the animatronic while they're not in use, so they have battery power for the day. Their plan was to start siphoning power from the restaurant into their charging pads to fill up their batteries as much as possible. And then when as full as they can be, they would escape the pizzeria and cause havoc on the surrounding area, which again is crazy. This is something we've never heard before, but if the book is canon to the games, which I believe it is, the implication is that by the time of FNAF 1, the spirits inside of the Freddy animatronics are so angry and restless that they don't even want to be here anymore. They want to break out and do whatever they can to feel something. We even get glimpses of this happening in some of the bad endings and game overs. One of them even lines up with how animatronics act in the Twisted One. In that book, there are animatronics hunting Charlie, the main character, and they find out they're hunting her because there's a direct line of casualties caused by these animatronics leading from where they started to where Charlie is. Meanwhile, in one of the endings of this book, if you leave without figuring out this whole plan and situation, kids start going missing night by night, and it forms a direct line from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to the apartment that Ralph and his daughter Coppelia live in. So anyway, when Bronwen discovered this plot, she tried to put a stop to it herself, breaking into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to mess with the electronics. But unfortunately, Bonnie catches her, stuffs her into a Freddy suit, and finishes the job by putting Fredbear's head on top of her and activating it. Another side note here, multiple times we see an animatronic trying to stuff either ourselves or someone else into a suit. So I know we kind of got confirmation of this in the FNAF 1 game over screen with the eyes coming out of Freddy, but it's nice to know that whether or not they think you're an endoskeleton, it is true that the animatronics are going to try to stuff you into a suit. Back to the plot, in the same voicemail page I mentioned earlier with the 1983 thing, if you have the item that gives you the proper code for the voicemail box, you hear Bronwen Light giving a voicemail directly to Ralph. It's when she's dying essentially, and she begs him to finish this job, stop this plot, because not only would it affect everyone else, she has reason to believe they want to kill his daughter. After all, Ralph has worked here for an incredibly long time, longer than pretty much anyone else, and he's finally leaving Freddy Fazbear's. It's her belief that these animatronics are angry at him. They've been stuck here, why does he get to leave? And they want to kill Coppelia as part of that. At the end of the voicemail, she ends up saying "it's me" before the line is cut off. This is an important "it's me" and we'll get to it, but let's finish the context here. Afterwards, the Golden Freddy confrontation I mentioned earlier happens in this route. It's the same ending that unlocks the true playthrough of this book. We managed to sap the power from all of the animatronics and we're waiting until they're fully powered off. But in the meantime, like I mentioned, Ralph is in a staring contest with Golden Freddy, knowing that if he looks away, he'll likely die. Once the animatronics are fully sapped of power, he looks away to check, and he dies from Golden Freddy. and it's in that moment we get this page. I think the key here to understanding this with the context I just mentioned is that Golden Freddy is the one killing us, and Fredbear's head was used to kill Bronwen. I don't think that Bronwen possesses Golden Freddy or anything like that, but I think there's a strong enough spiritual connection going on that when she finds Ralph dying to Golden Freddy, she's able to reach out to Ralph and give him some peace of mind. The plan worked. Even if you're dying in this moment, your daughter will be safe. And Ralph is able to rest in peace, knowing that he saved his daughter. Log 63. My favorite rule. It's been 181 days since I escaped the tunnels. But if I knew the next floor of the Backrooms would have been this deserted wasteland, maybe I would have stayed. At least there was shade in there. I've had nothing to eat besides stray leaves that blow on the winds, but I've yet to find a source for them. I'm so thirsty. If only there was a sponsor. Wait, a sponsor? This is a partnership. It's my pleasure to formally announce that Rytoast has partnered with Gamersupps. They provide a sugar-free, keto-friendly powder energy formula drink that is cheaper per serving than most energy drinks. A 100-serving tub comes to about 40 cents per serving. But they also have caffeine-free varieties like what I've got right here, Goof Juice, which tastes like strawberry kiwi. Although my favorite so far has been Copium, which is their cranberry cocktail adjacent flavor. Being a partner means I can pretty much say whatever I want here. There's no strict guidelines that I have to say, but if you use code RYTOAST on any order on Gamersupps, you'll get 10% off and I get a little kickback. So it's a way for you to save some money and to support the channel. Genuinely, they sent me a care package like a month ago when we were talking about this partnership, and I've been having like a serving a day of the energy, which is I think like 150 milligrams of caffeine, and multiple servings of the non-energy, again, like every day. I haven't drank a Diet Coke in weeks. I'm being 100% honest. If you're still on the fence, once per flavor per address, you can order a free sample of any of the flavors on their site, so might as well give it a shot. You just have to cover shipping. So try some Gamersupps and use code RYTOAST for 10% off your order and to support me. Now, all that context out of the way, the burning question, as Bronwen is dying, why does she say, "It's me"? Here's the thing. That's not the only time that Bronwen, or even Ralph, says "it's me." It pops up a lot more in the story. On page 108, before Ralph even knows who Bronwen is, he has a sort of nightmare or hallucination, it's hard to tell, but he gets this vision of somebody wearing a Freddy suit covered in blood, walking into the room he's hiding in, leaning in and saying, "It's me." The presumption being, since this is after Bronwen was killed, this is Bronwen saying "it's me" within Freddy Fazbear. Even more so, in the ending of what I believe is the true playthrough of the week before, Ralph is leaving the Night 4 voicemail we hear in FNAF 1 on his 5th night. He forgot to leave one for Night 4. And that's the one we famously hear of like him getting attacked and dying. Turns out that screaming, not just Golden Freddy, it's all of the animatronics screaming at the same time to short-circuit the office. Regardless, we then cut to after that voicemail, where Ralph is trapped inside one of the animatronics, unsure if he's even still alive. But we get his thought process, which says, "Something smells bad. It might be you. It's me," in italic font. So we have two people dying in animatronic suits saying, "It's me," something that theoretically only Golden Freddy would say. But it gets even stranger, because Freddy himself, not Golden, Freddy Fazbear, says "it's me" multiple times. On one of the game overs, when you're trying to shut down the animatronics and Freddy catches you, he charges at you. And right before Ralph dies, all the animatronics start laughing like little children, in children's voices. And he realizes out loud that they're just kids. And Freddy leans in, and just before killing Ralph says, "It's me." Notably, in that moment, Ralph mentions he wonders what life would be like without a frontal lobe, which kind of implies that Freddy did the bite of 87, but there are other moments in this book that point to a different specific animatronic, so I don't think that's what it's saying here, just want to point that out. We're definitely going to talk about what this book says about the bite of 87. This isn't the only time animatronics say "it's me." Sometimes it happens when they aren't even in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. In one of the game overs, Ralph is trapped in Freddy's while the other animatronics escape, eventually getting a call from his daughter that his friends from work showed up. When he asks who it is, she hands the phone to Freddy, and Freddy over the phone says, "It's me." In another ending, when the animatronics make it to your apartment while you're home, they kill you and go after your daughter. While you're dying on the ground, Chica walks in from the direction of your apartment, leans over you, and in your daughter's voice says, "It's me." So what's going on here? If Freddy and the gang are saying "it's me," separate from Golden Freddy, even outside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, then it can't just be because of Golden Freddy. So is "it's me" completely divorced from Golden Freddy? Well, I don't think so, because when Golden Freddy does kill you, it's the most "it's me" in the entire book by a exponential amount. So we're not given a clear answer here, but when in Five Nights at Freddy's are we ever? All this to say, what does "it's me" truly mean? I think the key here is that even though these animatronics make a lot of noise throughout this book, they never speak. They'll moan, sometimes they whimper, they scream, they screech in electronic agony. At times, they sound exactly like little children crying and laughing, but they never speak outside of the words, "It's me." Foxy hums a song, but that's about it. They are also, to an extent, aware of who they are, or rather, it seems like they're aware that they are not these animatronics. After all, in one of the scenes of you escaping Chica, you're in the kitchen and there's a cupcake with a candle on it. You can light that candle and hide, and Chica will come in and stare at the lit candle on the cupcake. This is insane. Listen to how crazy this is. In that moment, you're given the option to sing "Happy Birthday." And if you do, Chica doesn't attack you but continues to stare at the cupcake, and you get these lines. When you get to the part where you name the birthday person, a name pops into your head. "Happy birthday, dear Susie. Happy birthday to you." Chica lets out an anguished scream and smashes the cupcake with a hand. She storms out of the kitchen wailing. Weird, you think, even for a walking animatronic. In a moment of clarity, Chica is given a birthday cupcake and is sung "Happy Birthday." But when Ralph says "Susie," it tears through her and she runs away, sending her over the edge. By the way, this book does seemingly confirm Susie as Chica and Jeremy as Bonnie. With this strong evidence, the strong evidence we've had in the past, and the head graveyard evidence from FNAF 3 and FNAF 6, I think it's pretty safe to just assume we've been right about the missing child incident victim names. Susie being Chica, Jeremy being Bonnie, Gabriel being Freddy, and Fritz being Foxy. Anyway, it seems to me that even if they don't truly remember who they are, they know for a fact they are not the animatronic characters they're possessing. With that in mind, what happens if these animatronics try to talk? Like if you were to ask them who they are. Quote from the book, "You're just kids," you say. "Who?" Freddy's face is inches from your head. He leans down. You wonder what it would be like living without your frontal lobe. A warped, garbled voice says, "It's me." We have no direct evidence as to what's going on here, but it's my inclination that these characters were programmed to say a lot of things, and we get some evidence that they said a lot of things in use. They were also, as children's characters, likely programmed to introduce themselves. So, all this in mind, logically, what is a perfectly reasonable introduction for a children's character like this?
"It's me, Freddy. It's me, Bonnie.
It's me, Chica.
It's me, Foxy."
So that programming might be inside them, and the programmed speech might be all they're able to say, but they know they're not these characters. William Afton might have stuffed them into these suits and forced their souls to be trapped in these robots, but he can't change who they truly are. They will not identify themselves as these characters. So when they try to speak, to acknowledge something, all that comes out are these introductions, but they're stopped short, leaving only "It's me." So then, if that's true, why is Golden Freddy so special and able to say it so much? Truthfully, I'm not sure yet, but I lean towards it having something to do with how strong the spirit of Golden Freddy is and how connected to the suit they are. Clearly, they're one of the most powerful characters in this franchise, being able to kill someone just by looking at them. And clearly, their spirit has a lot to say if that ending with Ralph is anything to be believed. But possibly still, all they can say is, "It's me." No matter what they're trying to scream at us, no matter what information they're trying to say, all that comes out is "It's me. It's me, it's me, it's me, it's me." That's my thoughts on this anyway. Regardless of what you think of my conclusion, because there are flaws in it. I mean, if programming is the reason, why does "it's me" appear mentally in their minds? I'm not sure. I don't have a good explanation for that. But regardless of what you think about my conclusion, I think it's safe to say that our understanding of "it's me" has been inherently flawed this whole time. Not to say we've made a mistake. If you make a theory based on evidence you have and new evidence comes out to disprove that, you didn't make a mistake, we just need to try again. After all, this is the most complete information we've gotten about FNAF 1 in the 10 years that the game has been out. We get more information from this book than we do on the movie loosely based on the game. I think it's at least clear from this book that It's Me was never unique to Golden Freddy, just said the most by him. But what do you think? What do you think of this book? I'm genuinely so excited to talk about all the mountains of lore that it provided us. In the meantime, if you played Into the Pit and you were confused as to what this minigame meant, it's actually a retelling of the story To Be Beautiful from Fazbear Frights. And if you haven't read that Fazbear Frights book yet, I actually just released my second ever audiobook recording of it on the 3rd channel, which you can find right here. If you want your fan art featured on the channel, make sure to share it with #ToastArt or post it in the official Discord. A huge thank you to the best channel members, the Dough Risers. And until next time, as always, stay toasty, slices.